Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students and previous lectures, so I have explained and discussed about the quicksort algorithm, the time complexity, best case and worst case of quicksort algorithm. Okay, so now this is chapter number 4 for the analysis of algorithm, and in this chapter I will discuss graph representation, graph traversal, then different algorithms, time complexity of those algorithm. Okay, so we will discuss all these in this chapter. Okay, so now first we have graph representation and traversing. What is graph representation and traversing? And first you need to know about the graph, and also you need to know about the difference between graph and tree. So inshallah in coming lectures, in coming slides also, so we will discuss the difference between the graph and tree and what is a graph. And I have also discussed about the tree, but here I will also give you a little bit overview about the tree. But first you need to know about the graph. What is a graph? So a graph is a finite set of nodes with edges between nodes. Formally, a graph G is a structure VE consisting of a finite set called the set of nodes of vertices, and a set E that is a subset of V multiplied by V, that is E is a set of pair of the form XY where X and Y are nodes in a V. So now what does it means, this complete paragraph? So here the definition of graph is a graph is a finite set of nodes. So we can say graph will be a finite set of nodes जो मुख्तलिफ nodes में मौजूद है. Okay, so we are representing the nodes by using circles just like this. Okay, so here we will have different nodes in a graph. Okay, with edges between nodes. If we want to connect these nodes with each other, so these will be connected through edges. Ami connection is the connection mo connect kadim batawsat ichi connect kadim batawsat edge. Ira edge mega E D G E. This is edge, and we can say this is the node. Iramochi megam node megam. So how many nodes we have in this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 nodes. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We have 5 nodes. And how many edges? 1. This is edge 1, 2, 3, and 4. So we can say that here we have 4 and then 5. So we have 5 edges and 5 nodes. So edge is what? Edge is a line which connect nodes with each other, two or more, which connect two nodes with each other. Okay, and what is a node? So we can say the vertex on which two edges or three edges are combining together. Look at this. For example, this is edge and this is edge. This is edge and this is edge. So now what is the vertex of these two edge? So the vertex is this one. This is the vertex of this edge. Why we can say this is a vertex of this edge? Because through this point, this edge and this edge has been combined together. بأي بوينت كاسة اي ايج و اي ايج چی شدن خود چی شدن یکجای شدن صحیح است. نو امی پوینت کاسته که دا پوینت دا جایی که دو ایج یا سه ایج چی میشه یکجای میشه او رو ما چی میگم نود میگم صحیح است. So now we are representing a node by using V and representing an edge by using E. ما node rabachi represent yes, node rabachi represent making him. So we are representing node by using what? V. Node, yeah, we can say vertex. Ira nodum guftam misha ira manodum megam wo vertexum ira mo megam says the V E R T-I-X, vertex. Okay, so here it is represented by V, and E is used for the representation of what? For the representation of age. E D G E. For the representation of age we are using E. For the representation of node or vertex we are using V. So now what does it mean? Formally a graph can be represented by G. So G is used for the representation of a graph. Okay, G is used for the representation of complete graph. So graph is a structure in which we have V and E. Graph چی است؟ یک structure است که در ما چی داریم؟ V داریم، vertices ما داریم و دیگه چی داریم؟ edges ما داریم. Okay, so edges combine two vertex with each other, yeah, two nodes with each other. And what is a node? Node is a point through which two or more than two edges are combining together. Okay, consisting of a finite set, finite set called the set of nodes of vertices. graph میگه که set of nodes داره که او ما vertices میگیم. مختلف nodes، اینجا چند nodes داره ای graph که است 5 nodes داره. اوکی، نو ای مقصد یا graph است که ما 5 nodes داریم. صحیح است. and a set E that is a subset of V. باز دیگه چی داره؟ E داره. E مقصد چی است؟ edges. No graph we can say this is a combination of V vertices, okay, and combination of E. So E means edges. So through edges the vertices are yeah, through edge we are combining two vertices. And what is a vertex? Vertex is a point at which edges are combining together. Okay, now graph is a combination of edges and vertices, yeah, nodes, okay, of the form xy. So that is E is a set of pair of the form xy where x and y are nodes and vertices. What does it mean? For example, this is an edge, E a line asta. So here this edge has vertices xy. So now what is mean by x and y? So here this edge combines this one. This edge combine which node? 1 and 3. So 1 is x and 3 is y. So here I have mentioned that x and y are nodes. Now yak edge است که edge چی داره؟ x داره y و x چی است اینجا در edge 1 است و در edge چی است؟ x 3 است. For example, if I want to represent this edge, this one, so now how will we represent this edge? exy. So this is a pair, order, we can say order pair. So this order pair has vertices. Which vertex? For example, this edge. So vertex 3 and 5. So 3 is 6, sorry, x, and y is 5. So we can say this is a pair, and this edge or this edge combining 3 and 5 vertex. Okay, 5 and 3 are combining through this edge. Okay, so this was the representation of pair. If you have any question related to this slide, so then you can ask. Next, what we have, so example here, the same example that I have explained in previous slides. Okay, this example, so the same example is given right here. So look at this, what we have. So we have an example, v is equal to vertices 1 2 3 4 asta. So sorry, as 0 girafta 0 1 2 3 4. So 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, so you can give for example, you can give 0 to this node or 0 to this node or 0 to this node or 0 to this node. شما نام که است به هر نود 0 میتی، به هر نود 1 میتی، مشکل نیست. خب هر نود که است باید یک جدا جدا نام باید می داشته باشن. مقصد این است که 0 شما اینجا نام دادید، اینجا باید 0 نام نباشه. دو نود سیم نیم باید نباشه. صحیح است؟ خب نود اگر شما به این صفر میتی هم مشکل نیست، به این شما 2 نام میتی، به این شما 1 نام میتی، به این شما 4، به این شما 3 نام میتی، مشکل نیست، مقصد نام فرق نمیکنه. صحیح است. خب اینجا باز چی قسم نوشته است؟ For example, if I have taken this node, sorry, this graph, so how will we represent this graph in pairs? So in pairs we will represent just like this. اینجا the pair x represent میشه. اینجا چطور represent میشه؟ E is equal to edges is equal to edge کدام ای vertices هست 0 1 2 3 4 4. So these are the edges, and now these sorry, these are the vertices. So now what are the edges? So edges are here 0 1. So 0 1, what does it mean? It means that we have edge from 0 to 1. So this is the edge from 0 to 1. Okay, next one, we have an edge from 1 to 2. So we have edge from 1 to 2. Okay, and we have also edge from 0 to 3. From 0 to 3 we also have this one edge from 0 to 3. Okay, next 3 to 0 we also have an edge from 3 to 0 as 3 node بس صفر چی است؟ یک edge است. 2 to 2, it means here we have loop. اگر از دویش same باشه اینجا مقصدی است که از vertex 1 sorry as vertex 2 edge رفته با same vertex. No, it means here loop است. صحیح است؟ همینجا loop است. و باز 4 to 3 so here we have an edge from 4 to 3. Okay, from 4 we have an edge to 3. Okay, so these are the edges that I have represented is a set, and these are the vertices that I have represented is a set. Okay, so now how will we pronounce these? Some gufta misha ami chiza second, where when an x y is in age, agar x y age basha, we say that x is adjacent to y and y is adjacent from x. So now what does it mean? Let me explain this. Agar x y chi basha age basha, agar x y age basha, we say that x is adjacent to y and y is adjacent from x. Look at this. For example, this is x and this is y. So now we are taking this age. Ami age ramomegi. So now x is the adjacent of y. It means 0 is adjacent of y because here we have an edge from x to y. اینجا ای رو شما میبین از x با y یا از صفر با یک چی است؟ یک edge است. نو ما میگیم که x adjacent y است. صحیح است؟ و y چی است؟ y از x adjacent است. باز یک سمان گفته نمیتونیم که y is the adjacent of x. y is not adjacent of x. چرا؟ به این خاطر که ای رو امی تیرک که هستن ای طرف y است. نو x is adjacent of y and y is adjacent from x. ای از x adjacent است. یک سم گفته نمیشه که مقصد x y adjacent x است. y is adjacent of this one. We can say 1 is adjacent of 2 and 2 is adjacent from 1. So here 0 is the adjacent of 3 and 3 is the adjacent from 0. ایکسم گفته میشه. صحیح است؟ ایکسم گفته نمیشه که مثلا شما میگی که x is the adjacent of y and y is the adjacent of x. In this case اگر arrow باشه یک تیرک اگر باشه باز ایکسم گفته میشه. خب اگر ایکسم باشه باز شما گفته میتونی اینجا باز directed و undirected. اینجا undirected گراف است. خیر بعد از این میاد directed و undirected ما باز تشریح میکنیم. خب اینجا arrow نیست، تیرک نیست، معلوم نیست که ایج از این طرف به اون طرف رفته یا از یک به سه رفته یا از سه به یک رفته. صحیح است؟ اینجا باز شما گفتم بیتانی که 1 is adjacent of 3 and 3 is adjacent of 1. but here اینجا چی است؟ اینجا شما x گفتم میتونی که x adjacent y است. خب y adjacent x نیست. باز ما چیکسم گفتم میتونیم باز ما میگیم که y از x adjacent است. adjacent مقصدی است که side by side باشه. صحیح سه adjacent مقصد ساید بای ساید که باشه. نو اینجا این ساید بای ساید وازی ایج رفته باشه. صحیح سه اگر ایج از او رفته باشه نو باز این ما چی میگیم که این چی است؟ این adjacent است. اگر شما اینجا ببینین این 4 و 0 چی است؟ ساید بای ساید است. خب اینجا ایج نرفته، این ما adjacent باز گفته نمیتونیم. صحیح است. خب باز پایین ما چی نشته کردیم؟ مثال ما دادیم که 0 is adjacent to 1. look at this, 0 is adjacent to 1 یا 0 is adjacent of 1 یا to 1. 1 is not adjacent to 0. 1 is not adjacent to 0. ما گفته میتونیم که 0 is adjacent to 1 but 1 is not adjacent to 0. we can say that 1 is adjacent from 0. okay, 2 is adjacent from 1, so we can say 2 is the adjacent from 1. So here the age is coming from 1 to 2, so we can say 2 is adjacent from 1 and 1 is adjacent to 2, so we can say just like this. And in this case we can say 0 is adjacent to 3 and 3 is adjacent from 0. Sorry, so here we have age from 0 to 3 and then again from 3 to 0, so we can also say اینجا چی است؟ از 0 به سیم آمده و سیم به 0 رفته. صحیح است. باز ما گفته میتونیم که 0 is adjacent to 3 and 3 is adjacent to 0. here 3 is adjacent, so 4 is adjacent to 3 and 3 is adjacent from 4, so we can say just like this. So if you have any questions, so then you can ask. Okay, so next what we have, direct and indirect undirect graphs. مقصد اینجا direct و indirect graph مقصد چی است؟ این دو نوع graph است. so these are the two types of graph. so one is the directed and undirected graph. so what is directed and undirected graph? for example, if we have nodes 0, sorry, first node, this is second node, for example node 1, node 2, node 3 या इधर node 4 जो कि इधर node 3 में. so from node 1 we have this one. from node 1 we have also edge to node 2. from node 1 we have also edge to node 4 and from 2 we have edge to 3 and from 3 we have edge to 4. so you can draw the edges from any one of the node to the any other nodes. okay, so now we can say this is a directed graph. why this is directed graph? به خاطر که edge که است directionش معلوم می باشه. این جسا که directionش چیکسیم معلوم است 1 as 1 age ما داریم به چی؟ به 2. خب ایکسم گفته نمیشه که مقصد as 2 ما به 1 داریم، به خاطر که ما نداریم. اگر می داشتیم باز میگفت. خب این دایرکشن اینجا مهم است. ما دایرکشن گرفتیم، سمت ما طرف گرفتیم که از 1 به 2. صحیح است. از 2 به 3، از 3 به 4، از 1 به 3، از 1 به 4. صحیح است. این ایج رفته. نو این دایرکتد گراف است که اونجا دایرکشن معلوم می باشه، تیرک می باشه، ایرو می باشه. نو این چی است؟ این دایرکتد گراف است. و یک گراف ایکس می باشه. صحیح که اینجا فور ایگزامپل 1 2 4 3. so here we are not taking the age, sorry, we are not taking the direction. arrow نمی باشه، بدون arrow age می باشه. اصلا که اینجا بدون age arrow است. نو مقصد معلوم نیست که این ایج از کدام به کدام طرف رفته. صحیح است. اینجا سعی که از این ما نمیفهمیم که ایج از 1 به 2 رفته یا از 2 به 1 رفته. صحیح است. اینجا وقتی که ما ایج نوشته میکنیم، صحیح است. for example if I want to write the ages, so how can we write age? so we can write an age just like this in the form of set. so we can write, for example, I want to write this age, so this is 1 to 2. if I'm writing 2 to 1, so now this is wrong for this graph. ای غلط است چرا؟ به خاطر که از تو به یک ما کدام ایج نداریم. دوم فور اگزامپل از یک به 4 ماه ایج داریم. صحیح است؟ از یک به 4 ماه ایج داریم. صحیح است؟ so we if we want to write just like this 4 to 1, so this will be wrong. این غلط می باشد در دایرکتد گراف به خاطر که از 4 به یک کدام ایج نیست. از یک به 4 است خو از 4 به یک ایج نیست. And we have the other ages in the same graph. Okay, so now in undirected graph you can write just like this. For example, here we have an age, so this should be represented in a set. Let me just write in a set. So here if I'm writing 1 to 2, so ninja direction muhim nest, you can also write 2 to 1, so no problem. Okay, so we have age from 1 to 2 and from 2 to 1, and here we can also write, for example, I am writing this age from 1 to 4 and 4 to 1, so both will be correct, both are the ages, because here the direction is not important. Okay, 4 to 1, but in the above graph the direction is important. Okay, بالا گراف که است direction important است و این directed graph است و پایین که است direction important نیست. اینجا direction معلوم نیست که ای ایج با کدام از کدام با کدام ایج رفته. صحیح است؟ so we can say this is the undirected age undirected graph. Okay, so if you have any question so then you can ask. این directed و undirected graph است. اینجا ما مثال دادیم. صحیح است؟ باز شما امیر در کتابچه نوشته کنین. Okay, next so here representation of graph. So if we want to represent a graph, خب صحیح است اینجا امی چیزا گفته شدن که چی هستن. خب باز ما میریم بر representation اول ایرو ما تشریح امیر میخوانیم و باز تشریح خو کردیم. خب امیر میخوانیم. صحیح است. if the direction of the ages matter then we show the age directions and the graph is called a directed graph. اینجا ما گفتم که اگر ages مهم باشه، important باشه، ضروری باشه، صحیح است، direction مهم است direction، نو باز ما با یک ایرو represent میکنیم هر ایج. نو امی ایجز که ما با ایرو با تیرک ما represent میکنیم، امی مکمل گراف که هستن او رو ما چی میگیم؟ او رو ما directed graph میگیم یا in short ما میگیم digraph. ایره digraph هم گفته میشه. ای صحیح است، digraph یا directed graph. If the relationship represented by the ages are symmetric such as xy is age if and only if x is a sibling of y, then we don't show the direction of the ages and the graph is called an undirected graph. So when we are not showing the direction of the edges, okay, without the direction, without the arrow, when we are combining two nodes by using an edge and that edge is not the direction, it has that edge has no direction, so there is no arrow used for the edge. So in this case we can say that this is undirected graph because here the direction is not important. Okay, and we can write the edges just like this: 1 2 2 1, no problem; 1 4 4 1, so no problem. But here it matters. Okay, so because we have a direction from 1 to 2, but here we haven't direction from 2 to 1, so we have adjacent. 1 is adjacent to 2, but 2 is not adjacent to 1. 2 is adjacent from 1, not to 1. Okay, so these were the directed and undirected graph. So next we have representation of graph. So how will we represent a graph? So we are representing a graph by using two methods in computer and programs. So we are representing a graph by using two methods. یخو فقط ما یک گراف گفتم با شما که گراف ایکس هم رسم میشه. صحیح است؟ رسمی گراف هست که گراف نودز داره و ایجز داره. صحیح است؟ خب the computer ما graph را چی قسم represent میکنیم صحیح است the computer یا the program ما graph را چی قسم represent میکنیم so we are representing a graph by using two ways in a computer in a program so what are those two ways so first one is the adjacency matrix representation adjacency list representation so these are the two representation of a graph that we have in computer programming so we will discuss both of them one by one so what is the adjacent matrix representation and adjacent list representation so let me just discuss it and coming in the next slides okay adjacent matrix representation so what does it means in this representation each graph of n nodes is represented by an n multiplied by n matrix A that is a two-dimensional array the node are relabeled 1 to n aij is equal to 1 if ij is in age aij is equal to 0 if I in the j master if ij is not age look at this so here let me just write okay aij okay save this and this is n cross n okay save what does it means مقصد هی چی است ما که گفتم که ماتریکس است aij است 1 برابر می باشه و 0 اگر ایج باشه اگر ایج نباشه so what does it mean so here in next matrix in next slide so we have a matrix representation matrix شاید شما میفهمین matrix matrix امی در ریاضی که ما ماتریکس داریم صحیح است امی قسم یک سکویر بریکت داخلی باز ولیو می باشه امی 0 1 آلی مقصد چی است امی رو ما اینجا تشریح میکنیم فور اگزامپل یک گراف است صحیح است امی یک گراف است صحیح است ای گراف چی داره ای گراف کی است ایجز داره و ورتیسز داره آلی ای گراف ورتیسز 0 1 2 3 و 4 it means from 0 to 4 5 vertices داره 1 2 3 4 5 vertices داره و edges هم داره از 0 به 1 از 1 به 2 2 به 2 صحیح است از 4 به 3 از 0 به 3 از 3 به 0 ای edges است so now just write یا just make a matrix ما اینجا matrix رو جور میکنیم صحیح است ما خود جور میکنیم که شما بفهمین اونجا هست خب باز ما خود یک جور میکنم طریقهش چی قسم است یک matrix رو جور کنین صحیح است so I have made a matrix how many vertices we have from 0 to 4 so just write 0 to 4 0 1 2 3 4 okay and also write this on top for column اینجا چند روز ما داریم 5 رو دارم و چند کالم باید باشه 5 کالم هم باید باشه 2 3 4 نو ما میگیم که ملتی دایمنشنال یا 2 دایمنشنال ارے است امی گراف کی است گراف ای به خاطر 2 dimensional array استفاده میشه پیش از این ما مرج سارت کویک سارت صحیح است سelection سارت امور ما کار کردم صحیح است اون مکمل لینیر ارے بود لینیر ارے مقصد 1 dimensional ارے بود صحیح است آل 2 dimensional ارے ما سرچینگ و سورتینگ ما میکنیم صحیح است نو برای این چی استفاده میشه گراف استفاده میشه امی گراف د ماتریکس فرم ما represent میکنیم او چی قسم represent میشه x represent میشه صحیح اینجا so here I'm writing an age from 0 to 0 is there is any age from 0 to 0 اینجا کدام age 0 to 0 مقصد x age خوی age خو نیست so we don't have an age from 0 to 0 0 to 0 there is no age so I will write 0 from 0 to 1 Is there is any age? Yes, I have age from 0 to 1, so I will put 1. هر جایی که age باشه امورا 1 نوشته کنین، هر جایی که age نباشه امورا 0 نوشته کنین. صحیح است؟ Is there is any age from 0 to 2? از این طرف 0 از این طرف 2. Is there is any age from 0 to 2? There is no age from 0 to 2, so I will put 0. Is there is any age from 0 to 3? Yes, I have an age from 0 to 3, so I will put 1. In the same case, 0 to 4, is there is any age? No, we don't have any age from 0 to 4, so I will put 0. Okay, next it's turn off 1. Is there is any age from 0 to from 1 to 0? From 1 to 0 there is no age. From 0 to 1 we have age, so I will put here 0. From 1 to 1, no age. From 1 to 2, yes, we have an age. From 1 to 2. From 1 to 3, no age. From 1 to 4, no age. Okay, next 2 to 0, so there is no age from 2 to 0, and you can check right here, there is no age from 2 to 0. Age from 2 to 1, no age from 2 to 1. We have an age from 1 to 2, but not from 2 to 1. Is there is any age from 2 to 2? Yes, inja age astan inja mochinish making 1. Is there any age from 2 to 3? As 2 to 3 kudam age astan? No. From 2 to 4, no. From 3 to 1, yes. Sorry, from 3 to 1 inja kudam age nesta as seba yak age nesta no mochinish making 0. From 3 to 1, yes. So from 3 to 1 inja awal chest from 3 to 0. So first we should check from 3 to 0. This one 3 to 0, yes, we have an age. From 3 to 0, more direct one goftum. From 3 to 0, so we have an age. From 3 to 1, there is no age. From 3 to 2, there is no age. From 3 to 3, there is no age. From 3 to 4, there is no age, so we will put 0. Okay, next, from 4 to 0, there is any age? No. From 4 to 1, there is age? No. From 4 to 2, there is no age. From 4 to 3, yes, we have an age, so I will put 1. From 4 to 4, there is any age? No. So this is the matrix representation, yeah, adjacency of matrix representation. این matrix representation. امی سوال پایین است، امی قسم نشته است، اینجا 4 نشته کردن، خب این 1 است، خب 4 نیست، اشتباه شدن اینجا. خب نو اگر این گراف این ماتریکس و این ماتریکس را شما مقایسه کنین، هر دویش سیم است، نو مقصد ما چی بود؟ مقصد ما این بود که فقط امی گراف را اینجا با ماتریکس تبدیل کنیم که شما بفهمین چی قسم تبدیل میشه، چی که نودز دارین شما. فور ایگزامپل 5 نود است، این طرف هم همون نود نوشته کنین، بالا هم نوشته کنین. It means this is n multiplied by n. n multiplied by n matrix, n multiplied by n matrix مقصد این است که اینجا 5 روز می باشه و 5 کالم می باشه. اینجا 5 روز است، نو 5 multiplied by 5 matrix هستی. 5 multiplied by 5 مقصد این است که این رو را represent میگیره، رو و این کالم را represent میکنه. نو 5 by 5 مقصد چی است که اینجا ما 5 روز دارم و 5 کالمز دارم. صحیح است؟ So 5 vertices here and 5 vertices here. اینجا نشته کنین، باز مقایسه کنین ایج را. مثال که ایج اینجا اول چی است؟ ایج 0 اول از این طرف بگیرین 0 0 0 0 ایج بود نبود. صحیح است؟ نو ما 0 0 ایج اینجا چی کردیم؟ ما نگرفتیم. صحیح است؟ ما گفتیم که 0 0 ایج چی است؟ 0 است. 0 1 ایج بود، نو ما امورا نوشته کردیم 1 کی موجود است. صحیح است؟ نو می قسم دیگه هم است، امی ایجز است، ما چک میکنیم. So this is the matrix representation of a graph. So now we have a list representation of a graph. So what is that list representation of a graph? So if you have any question related to this, you can ask. Okay, شما پرسان کده میتونین. صحیح است؟ So next what we have the یک دیگه مثال هستن باز شما ایره خود چک کنین. خب این گراف چی است؟ دایرکت گراف هست. این دایرکت گراف بود صحیح است و این دایرکت گراف هست. این میره شما باز خود چک کنین صحیح است. چند نود است؟ 0 1 2 3 4 5 5 نود است. خب ایج زیاد داره صحیح است. همینجا باز شما فقط چک کنین که سوری 6 نود است اینجا. همین 6 نود اینجا رپرزنت کنین که ایج کدام ایج داره. اونجا 1 نوشته کنین. اگر ایج نداره صحیح است اونجا 0 نوشته کنین صحیح است. خب ماتریکس کدام ماتریکس جور میشه؟ اینجا 6 نود است. نو 6 بای 6 ماتریکس جور میشه. 6 بای 6 مقصدی است که 6 رو می داشته باشه و 6 کالم. اگر شما ایره شمار کنین صحیح است 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 رو است و 6 کالم 1 2 3 4 5 6 کالم است صحیح است. این سوال این مثالم به خاطر چی است؟ این گراف است و این گراف را represent کرده د چی؟ د matrix represent کرده صحیح است. So now what we have, the second thing we have adjacency of list representation. What does it mean list representation? این دوم representation چی است؟ گراف است. A graph of n node is represented by one dimensional array L of linked list where Li is the linked list containing all the nodes adjacent from node I. The node in the list Li are in no particular order. So now what does it mean? So for example, if we have a graph, so how will we represent it? By using a list. So for list we are using a linked list. So you studied the linked list in C++ also. So in C++ we have a linked list. What is a linked list? Let me just give you a short overview about a linked list. So linked list means that if we are writing an element in a linked list, so linked list has two portion. For example 6, and here we will have the address. اینجا چی می باشه؟ address می باشه. For example 3 2 1. So here we will have address of the next element. So now this is the address of the next element. این address next element رو چی میگیره؟ اینجا میگیره و اینجا for example چی است؟ So here we will have the element is equal to for example 7, and it will also keep the address of the next element. نو این address خود داره. این item است for example 8, and it will keep the address of next element. And on the same way, so we will have the other linked list. So here linked list is keeping the address of the next element. Okay, the memory case the xm core making a linked list. So now here I will represent the element by using what? By using the linked list. We will represent by using the linked list. Okay, so how will we represent? Okay, so here in the form of linked list, yeah, we can say in a list. So how will we represent? Look at this. So this is a graph. This is complete graph. So now let me represent this graph by using a list. Okay, so here in this graph L0 list 0, yeah, we can say on vertex 0 is there is any edge to any other بکدام دیگه vertex از صفر کدام ایج رفته؟ نو، از صفر یک ایجم نرفته. به صفر آمده ایجز تقریبا 4 ایجز آمده به صفر. خب از صفر یک ایجم نرفته. نو ما اینجا چی نوشته کردیم؟ empty. It means there is no age. L1 کدام ایج از 1 رفته؟ 1 اینجا نوشته است هلن 1 است و مری 0 است. نو هلن کدام ایج از رفته؟ no, there is no age from 1 to any other vertices. نو اینجا ما چی نوشته کردیم؟ صفر سوری empty نوشته کردیم. از L2 امی age است جان. says is there is any age from 2? Yes, from list 2 yeah, from array 2 yeah, from vertex 2. So here we have 4 ages. Look at this, age from 2 to 0. So here I have put from 2 to 0 in a list. Okay, and it will keep the address of the next element. Okay, so from 2 it also move toward 1. For from 2 case ای با 1 هم یک چی داره age داره ای 1 را آمده ای address امی 4 را باز میگیره. صحیح است. 4 address 4 می داشته باشن اینجا. صحیح است. خب next ای با فورم رفته. خب از تو با فورم رفته. نکست کدام هسته؟ با فورم رفته. ای دیگه ادرس دیگه آیتم باز هم می داشته باشن. صحیح است. اینجا ادرس دیگه آیتم مثل که ادرس 4 داشت، مثل که 0 ادرس 1 داشت. آیا کدام دیگه آیتم هست از تو؟ کدام ایج هست از تو؟ یس دیگه ایج هم هست که به چی رفته؟ به 5 رفته، به پاول رفته. صحیح است. ایج از تو به 5 هم رفته. اینجا 5 هم هست. این چی داره؟ ادرس دیگه آیتم داره. خود دیگه آیتم نیست نو باز اینجا ادرس نمی باشه. این مقصد یک لینک لیست واره کار میگینه که اینجا از L2 کدام دیگه ایجز هست. صحیح است. این ایجز هست 0 1 4 2. از L2 ایج با کدام رفته؟ به 0 رفته، به 1 رفته و به 4 و به 5 رفته. صحیح است. Next what we have so next we have L3. So this is vertex is 3. This is vertex 3. So از این کدام ایج رفته؟ yes از اینجا از 3 به 0 هم رفته، از 3 به 1 هم رفته، از 3 به 4 هم رفته، از 3 به 5 هم رفته. اینجا نوشته شده از 3 به 0 هم رفته، از 3 به 1 هم رفته، از 3 به 4 هم رفته، از 3 به 5 هم رفته. نو این ایج کلش رفته به 0 1 4 و 5. باز نوبت چی است؟ 4 است. از 4 به کدام رفته؟ از 4 به 3 دیگه نودز رفته، به دیگه ورتکس رفته. از سوری به 2 نودز رفته و دیگه نودز به 4 آمده. خب از 4 به 0 هم رفته ایج و به 1 هم رفته. نو به 0 و به 1 ما اینجا نوشته کردیم. صحیح است. L5 از 0 و 1 سوری از L5 به 0 و 1 رفته. L5 صد نود پنجم است. به 0 هم 1 ایج رفته و به 1 هم ایج رفته. اینجا ما نوشته کرد. So this is the complete representation of a graph by using list. به توسط list یا link list ما چی کردیم؟ represent کردیم. صحیح است. So these were the two representation of the graph that we have. So next what we have graph traversal. So inshallah in next class, in next lecture, so I will discuss about the graph traversal and what is mean by graph traversal and what are the types of graph traversal and what they working. Yeah, how will we traverse a graph? So this is our next lecture and I will also discuss in this and next lecture. So it's enough. So if you have any question related to graph representation, yeah, related to graph, so you can ask.